Hello and welcome to Galaxy TV's Primetime News. My name is Iribami Salako. We begin with headlines. President Bola Tinubu presents 2025 budget of 47.96 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly. Plus on the news, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency confirms the death of a truck driver who was involved in an accident around Kara Bridge, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. From the international scene, Russia's security service says a 29-year-old man from Uzbekistan has been detained over the killing of Senior General Igor Kirillov. Details of these and more coming your way soon. Do stay with us. Many thanks for joining us at this time. Now, details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has presented a 2025 budget of 47.96 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly. Our correspondent Kolojo completes the story.
Presenting the estimate to the joint session of the National Assembly, President Tinubu emphasized that the budget aimed to restore macroeconomic stability, enhance business environment, foster inclusive growth, create jobs, reduce poverty, and promote equitable income distribution and human capital development. He said the key allocations include defense and security, 4.91 trillion naira, infrastructure, 4.06 trillion naira, health, 2.48 trillion naira, and education, 3.52 trillion naira.
Reform we have instituted are beginning to yield results, no reversals. Nigerians will soon experience a better and more functional economy. Global economic growth for the outgoing year was 2024 was projected at 3.2%, and against predictions, our countries we have made significant progress.
Tinubu stated that the 2025 budget reflects his administration's commitment to building a robust economy and addressing critical sectors. He assured Nigerians that the reforms introduced in the last 18 months are yielding results, with a 3.46% economic growth in the third quarter of 2024, foreign reserve at $42 billion and a trade surplus of 5.8 trillion naira. In his welcome address, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio commended President Tinubu's remarkable achievements, noting that given these achievements, the National Assembly will extend the lifespan of the 2024 budget to June 2025 through enabling legislation. In his closing remarks, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, assured the President that the National Assembly is fully committed to supporting the successful implementation of the 2025 budgets.
Administration has processed over 45.6 billion naira worth of student loans, something that we used to hear of in other countries. In a very short time, you signed the national minimum wage law, you signed the national minimum wage bill into an act, and raised the national minimum wage of our dear country.
This is not merely your budget. It is a national project requiring collaboration across all arms of government. We will work to ensure its timely passage, provide legislative support for critical reforms.
From the National Assembly, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Mixed reactions have been trailing the presentation of the 47.96 trillion naira budget estimate by President Bola Tinubu. Recall that the President, while presenting the estimate to the joint session of the National Assembly, assured that the budget would refocus the country's economy. A cross-section of senators and ministers who spoke with correspondent Kulujo in Abuja took different posture on the estimates put forward by the president. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, and Senator Sumaila Kawu hailed the estimate, noting that if well implemented, it will rejuvenate the ailing economy.
From the budget, it is very clear that Mr. President understands the pulse of the nation, but it is also significant that we have to take some very difficult decisions to reform our nation, to reform our economy. You will recall that Mr. President came on the heels of a very serious economic situation with insecurity, and you also agree with me that 18 months after, I think the level of insecurity in the country can be said to have improved.
I think it is normal, it is usual because of the exchange rate. If you see the exchange rate last time is 700 plus, but now it is 1,400 plus. Therefore, that is the disparity. It is not something new or strange. The variables we are using, it is oil production, exchange rate, and some variables, almost 2 to 3 variables. They are nothing new.
On their part, the former governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Suyaka Dixon, and Senator Ninge expressed reservations for the estimate, stressing that the rate of hunger and insecurity in the country is alarming. They called for a concerted effort towards addressing the needs of the people and restore their hope of a better country.
Communities for development activities to take place is very welcome and is the right focus. The idea of continuing to invest and even increase investments in human capital, to me, is the right focus. That is to say, allocating more resources to the Student Loan Board, investing in educational infrastructure across the country.
Statistics being churned in day out. I need to see the reflection of these statistics on my people. I need to see the reduction in poverty. I need to see the serious reduction of hunger. As you go to my constituency tomorrow, the hunger that they witnessed in 2022 is double, is replicated in 2023, double in 2024. So where will that take us? We need to do more serious job.
Now to other stories. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Lagos State to spend the Christmas and New Year holidays. Lagos Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, and cabinet members received the President at the Presidential Wing of Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President Information and Strategy, in a statement said before his departure to Lagos, President Tinubu presented the 2025 budget totaling 47.9 trillion naira before a joint session of the National Assembly in Abuja. IAGA Africa has charged the National Assembly to amend the Constitution to introduce voting rights for prisoners and special voting for eligible citizens performing essential election duties, including security personnel, electoral staff, observers, and journalists. Chairman of IAGA Africa's Election Study Observation Mission, Aisha Abdullahi, gave this indication while reading the recommendation contained in the preliminary report of 2024 Ghana General Election.
Management bodies, the EMBs, should review the format of ballot papers used in elections to include photographs and names of candidates to improve the quality of electoral preferences. Proactive disclosure of election information, including integrating political party representatives, the civil society, and media in election procurement processes.
There's a growing consensus in the election in West Africa now that there must be a minimum standard that we must meet. And I think that's the essence of all this exercise. There must be a minimum standard that I think that ECOWAS standard that everybody must meet. And having the biometrics verification is one of these standards. That is the only way you can eradicate.
It seems to be shifting from the polling unit to collation. What happens between the hours of end of polling and daybreak when some results are ultimately announced. That is where we really need to do some work in Nigeria. People need to have more confidence that the votes as announced at the polling units will be what will be declared. And people also need to have confidence that the provisions that the National Assembly constantly keeps putting in place to ensure transparency are properly interpreted by our courts and implemented.
Moving on to other stories. As the Yuletide season approaches, scarcity of cash has once again eaten the Nigerian communities. The development which has further added to the economic pain of the people. Galaxy News correspondent Lebby Joseph has more in this report.
Despite central bank warnings to banks to desist from hoarding and diverting cash, Nigerians find it hard to get cash because the news at most of the banks is that there's no cash and automated telling machines are not dispensing either.
That any bank that involves in hoarding of funds will be fined the sum of 150 million by the Central Bank of Nigeria. To me, I think it's funny for a democratic government to experience and witness Nigerians to be suffering for what they worked for their sweat. Because when you work and you get money, you keep it at the bank. You need that money, you cannot access it. It's somehow strange.
The bank giving excuses that there is no cash. And you source for the money with extra costs. So you can't do it the same price. If not, you'll be doing business without profit. So that's the major reason why we also have to double the charges we were collecting before. So it has not been easy. You get so many aggressive reaction and people are not happy about it anyway.
Nigerians feel nothing can change the situation for now because the Central Bank of Nigeria's warning to deposit money banks over cash hoarding and diversion is not being backed by actions, and the shady deals of diversion of cash continues while people have started paying more to get cash.
The CBN needs to be proactive. I will suggest to the Mr. CBN governor, it is not out of place if you yourself you personally visit a commercial bank in any part of this country. You can suddenly visit one and see how these commercial banks are dealing with customers. A lot of embarrassment from them. My money I transfer, it doesn't get to where it's going to. You'll be telling me I need to wait for 48 hours, I need to wait for 72 hours.
Yeah, but that was what Central Bank said. Even we were expecting that at this point of time, that there is no ATM you move to whereby the ATM machine will be empty. But you go around Allen down to Okpebi where I'm operating, there is no ATM machine that will pay you. No ATM has cash.
Going to bank, no money. Going to ATM, no money. Going to a POS, there's money there. But there will still be carry cash on our distance. And sometimes you want to do transfer. There won't be any this network. You know, with our the economy we are running in this country.
From Lagos, this is Lebby Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Coming up next. Oyo State government expresses deep sorrow over tragic loss of lives resulting from a stampede at a private children's fun fair in Ibadan, promising to bring organizers to book. The details of that and more coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Now to the story teased earlier. Oyo State government has expressed deep sorrow over the tragic loss of lives resulting from a stampede at a private children's fun fair in Ibadan. The incident, which occurred at Bashar Islamic High School in the early hours of today, claimed the lives of several children and left many others injured. In a swift response, the Deputy Governor, Barrister Bayo Lawal, said emergency agencies immediately transported victims to various hospitals across Ibadan for urgent medical care. He clarified that the Oyo State government and security agencies were not involved in the planning or logistics of the private event and stressed the need for proper coordination and safety measures for events involving children and vulnerable groups. Authorities are awaiting a comprehensive report from the Commissioner of Police to ascertain the total number of victims and the timing in the circumstances leading to the tragic event. Concerned parents have been advised to check the hospitals in Ibadan for information on their children, providing valid identification.
Individuals that are responsible for this very ugly incident, and there's no way anybody in his right mind will organize an event of this nature without involving security apparatus. I mean, people are very sane and they are alive to what is happening around us. You can't cramp 10,000 people, children for that matter, in a place and expect them to behave normally. You will be a stupid person.
Lagos State Emergency Management Agency on Wednesday confirmed the death of a truck driver who was involved in an accident around Kara Bridge. The permanent secretary of the agency, Dr. Olufemi Okeosanyintolu, who confirmed this in a statement, said the LASEMA received a distress call at about 4:26 a.m. Following distress call received through the emergency toll-free lines, LASEMA activated the state's emergency response plans and team from Command and Control Center outside Ikeja. Upon arrival at the incident scene, it was discovered that the truck registration number known, laden with several rolls of coils of steel and a 40-feet container, were involved in the accident. Okeosanyintolu said that an unidentified adult male driver lost his life in the incident and the body had been taken away before the arrival of the agency's response team. The Federal Road Safety Corps has emphasized the need for road safety, collective effort to minimize road accidents during the festive season. Ogun Deputy Corps Commander Dr. Adelaja Ogungbemi made this known during an advocacy campaign to members of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Correspondent John Felix completes the story.
It's the union's last general meeting of 2024 with officials of the Federal Road Safety Corps present on an advocacy campaign. Speaking to members of the union, FRSC Deputy Corps Commander said the advocacy is centered around zero death during the Ember months, stating that transporters play an integral role in the actualization of the campaign.
They must know that they must determine to be conscious, to drive, to stay alive. And if you are not a driver, you are traveling in the commercial vehicles, it lies in your hands to conscientize the driver, to sensitize the driver, to shout it out, to tell the driver to be careful and not to drive dangerously, because anything that happens affect you, affect the driver, and also affect your family back home. So remaining alive is a collective responsibility.
On his part, The Secretary of the Union said steps have been taken towards ensuring that members become change agents when driving. He also addressed some of the issues raised by the FRSC officials.
And we do capacity building for them always. Despite that we are vehicle owners, we enlighten our drivers. And in talking of, all the concern raised by FRSC Deputy Corps Commander, the issue of standardization of spare parts. We don't know what Standard Organization of Nigeria is doing. This is a Tokunbo tire. Foreign use tire is more reliable than newly produced tire in Nigeria. You have been saying this for long, and it is sad that no head has rolled. Nobody has been called to explain what is happening. Whereby you will buy a new tire, a newly manufactured tire in Nigeria at an outrageous price, and it is not as reliable as Tokunbo used tire. It is sad because this money is not easy to see. The spare part money has skyrocketed. When the fuel skyrocketed, the fuel price. Yes, we know government is trying to bring CNG initiative. What can we use to ameliorate the suffering we are encountering on other spare parts? That we can't do anything aside to speak up and to speak out to the agencies. They should just come to our rescue.
Meanwhile, the leadership and members of RTEN have also thrown their support for second-term ambition of the union's chairman, Akibu Titilayo.
The members are happy with chairman's policy, his decisions, and he carry all the entire executives along. For the first time that he has been in office, he has done so many things in the association. He has moved the association from where the association was before to a greater height. And there is, if anything happens to any member of the association, he's a listening chairman. He will rise up to the occasion, no matter what, and he will make sure that the person was not shortchanged or the person will be cheated. He's a no-nonsense person and he's driving the boat of the association to a safer bank.
These members also pledged to be Wadi Road ambassadors. From Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
And still on the festivities, in anticipation of the Yuletide, great luck expected at the first and second Niger Bridge in Onitsha. The Anambra State Police Command and the Federal Road Safety Corps have activated a joint patrol to enhance free flow of traffic. The move by the two federal agencies, according to the Police Command spokesperson Tochukwu Ikenga, was made possible by the State Police Commissioner after assessing the present state of the commercial city of Anambra. The CP and the sector commander, who visited the two bridges in the early hours of Wednesday, were said to have stationed its personnel at the bridges to ensure free flow of traffic in the area before, during, and after the Yuletide season. According to the police, the safety of lives and property is also paramount as hundreds of persons travel through the River Niger Bridge during the Christmas and New Year celebration. The Kaduna State Police Command has arrested one bandit, 3 car snatchers, and recovered 8 AK-47 magazines with 50 rounds of live ammunition. This was contained in a statement signed by ASP Mansur Azan, the Command Public Relations Officer. He said that the anti-kidnapping unit, acting based on credible information, successfully intercepted and arrested a 22-year-old suspect, Ali Umaru Nizaria. The suspect was apprehended in possession of 8 AK-47 magazines and 50 rounds of live AK-47 ammunition. During preliminary investigations, the suspect confessed to being part of a notorious bandit gang operating in Zamfara State and that he travels to Barikin Ladi Jos to collect the weapons from another accomplice whose real identity is yet to be ascertained. In the same vein, acting on another credible intelligence, a group of young men were observed attempting to steal a vehicle under suspicious circumstances. Police operative posed as prospective buyers engaged the suspect, and that confirmed the suspicions about their activities. During preliminary investigation, the suspect confessed to stealing the vehicle from the house of a resident in Naval Quarters at Sokoro, Abuja. The stolen Toyota Avalon R6 is being recovered and secured at the police station. Still on security, Commander of the Ogun State Security Network Agency, otherwise known as Amotekun Corps, Alade Adediba, has said that the security outfit has re-strategized its operation to forestall law and order during and after the festive season. He stated this during the show of force parade held in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. The Corps commander, while fielding questions from newsmen, assured residents of maximum security, saying the agency has what it takes to maintain peace and order. He insisted that the public should be reminded of their stand in zero tolerance for criminals, since the holiday season tends to draw crowds and criminal groups.
We keep saying that, the Amotekun Corps has zero tolerance for criminals and criminality. And we say again that when you see something, you say something. We are the closest security agency to the people. So once we are informed or informations are gathered, from the grassroots, of course it will be processed, and based on that we do the needful.
Now to other stories. Following the commissioning of the multi-purpose renovated by Benue State Universal Basic Board SUBEB, the state government has described primary school education as very expedient for every child, noting it is the bedrock for academic and societal excellence. Benue State Deputy Governor Vice Samuel Day stated this while commending the effort of management staff of SUBEB for the achievement within a short space of time, particularly the reforms that has transformed the delivery of primary education in the state. Describing the executive chairman as square peg in a square hole, the deputy governor says that the state government is confident that if the foundation of children of the state education is placed properly, there is no way in the world that children cannot compete. The executive chairman, SUBEB Dr. Grace Adagba, says that a lot has been done provided through the governor to reposition education, such as the retraining, recruitment of more teachers, and construction of more classrooms and offices.
We have a situation in this country where we are talking about the declining fortune of the quality of education that we give to our children. Every now and then we say the children are the future of our country, and indeed that is true. But if we do not impart knowledge, skills, and the right educational qualities.
Done a lot in the area of staff development, that is professional development, through training and retraining of teachers in collaboration with UBEC, NTI, UNICEF, and many other donor agencies. Our teachers have been trained, over 2,000 teachers have been trained within the last 1 year. We've revived the ECCD, popularly known as nursery sections in our public schools.
The Iowa Justice Assembly has strongly condemned the unjust, unconstitutional and illegal detention of Bello Badijo by the Nigerian military under the leadership of Chief of Defense Staff. In a statement by Comrade Musa Garbayola, the group described this abuse of power as a blatant violation of Bello Badijo's fundamental human rights, causing immense trauma to his family and tarnishing the image of the Nigerian military. Bello Badijo, previously detained for 6 months without charges and later declared innocent, had been battling severe health issues requiring treatment in Egypt. Despite his fragile health, he was rearrested on his cattle farm, an act the Assembly called shocking and inhumane. The group also called on relevant authorities and stakeholders to intervene and ensure justice prevails. The Assembly warned that no citizen's right, not then or otherwise, should be trampled upon in this manner. You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. To stay with us. We are glad to have you back now. Moving on with the rest of the stories, the New Nigeria People's Party have called an Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to urgently investigate the allegations of monumental fraud involving its former presidential candidate, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. This, they say, will serve as deterrent to other unscrupulous politicians who are hiding under the canopies of political parties to fraudulently enrich themselves in every election year. National Secretary of the party, Ogini Olakwosi, made the call while addressing journalists in Abuja on Wednesday. He alleged that the former governor of Kano State ran to the Kano State High Court to procure an order of court to restrain the FCC from investigating him and others, added that Kwankwaso's action is an attempt to escape investigation.
We are hereby reiterating our earlier call to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission to live up to expectation of Nigerians as a matter of urgency to come into this matter and investigate these allegations of monumental fraud involving Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who has been our former presidential candidate of this great party, NPP, in the just concluded 2023 election.
Wife of Rivers State Governor Lady Valerie Fubara has said that the state government is solidly behind the renewed up initiative of the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu. Lady Fubara made the disclosure in Port Harcourt while representing the First Lady of Nigeria at the empowerment of 250 elderly persons from the state. According to Rivers State Governor's wife, the gesture by the President's wife shows her effort in caring for elderly in the state. The Deputy Governor of Rivers State, Professor Ngozi Odu, also commended the gesture of Senator Oluremi Tinubu in remembering the people of Rivers State.
This gesture, coming from the founder of the Renewed Hope Initiative and First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, is a reminder of our collective responsibility to care for our elderly and vulnerable population. As it is customary in Rivers State, the Rivers State government equally supported the scheme at the event. In Rivers State, the Renewed Hope Initiative is fully aware of the weight of this responsibility. Hence, our decision to support the gesture by the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It's an amazing thing to see people stretch for their hands to the elderly. Sometimes when we are young, we are vibrant, we are strong, and then the graph turns around. We become old and need people that will stretch for their hands to lift us up. And that is what is happening today. Today, Her Excellency, the First Lady of Federal Republic of Nigeria, through our mother, the First Lady of Rivers State, is stretching forth her hands to these very elderly people.
Similarly, 250 elderly citizens from 65 years and above have benefited from the second edition of Renewed Up Initiative Elderly Support Scheme from the Nigeria's First Lady's Office. These were the words of the wife of President and the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, during a visit to Benin City, the Edo State capital. Senator Tinubu, who was represented by the administrator of the First Lady office, said the grant has been increased from 100,000 naira to 200,000 naira this year. On his part, the Edo State Governor, Monday Okpebolo, commended the First Lady for remembering the elderly this festive season.
This program is designed to support the welfare of our elderly citizens annually. 250 elderly citizens aged 65 and above in all 36 states of the Federation, the Federal Capital Territory, and veterans from the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association, DEPOA, will be benefiting from this scheme. The governing board of the Renewed Hope Initiative has decided to increase the grant from 100,000 naira to 200,000 naira this year.
All I need to say to the First Lady is thank you. This is to let you know you have a mother that cares. At time of Christmas, she remembered you. That is to tell you that this is a woman that means well for this nation. So I want you to know that a new era, a new Edo has risen. With the new initiative of the First Lady,
now we move to the international desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to the foreign news. Russia's security service says a 29-year-old man from Uzbekistan has been detained over the killing of a senior general Igor Kirillov and his assistant in Moscow, Lieutenant General Igor Kirillov, head of the Radiation, Chemical and Biological Protection Forces, was outside the residential block early on Tuesday when an explosive device hidden in a scooter was detonated remotely. The Russian security service said an unnamed suspect was recruited by Ukrainian intelligence. According to the state media agencies, Ukraine's security service had already claimed it was behind the killing. The Ukrainian sources said Kirillov, who was Russia's chemical weapons chief, was a legitimate target, alleged that he had carried out war crimes. On Monday, the day before the killing, Ukraine charged Kirillov, 45, in absentia, saying he was responsible for the mass use of banned chemical weapons. Russia denied the allegations. The Russian Federal Security Service Public Relations Center said on Wednesday that the detained 29-year-old was suspected of committing a terrorist act. A plot to assassinate Pope Francis during a trip to Iraq was stopped following a tip-off from British intelligence, according to his upcoming autography. The Pope writes that after landing in Baghdad in March 2021, he was told an event at which he was set to appear was being targeted by 2 suicide bombers. Both attackers were subsequently intercepted and killed. He said in an excerpt published by Italian newspaper. The visit, which took place over 3 days during the coronavirus pandemic, was the first ever to Iraq by a pope and saw an intense security operation. The years before had seen increased sectarian violence in Iraq, with fighting between Shia and Sunni Muslims, as well as the persecution of religious minorities. The country's Christian community had shrunk dramatically, having been targeted in particular by the Islamic State group and other Sunni extremists. In excerpt of his autobiography, the Pope said almost everyone advised him against the visit, but he felt he had to do it. He said the plot was uncovered by British intelligence, who warned Iraqi police, and they in turn told the security detail once he had touched down. Luigi Mangione has been charged with first-degree murder in the killing of healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The New York District Attorney said Mangione faces various charges, including first-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree murder, one of which describes the killing as an act of terrorism. Bragg said Mangione is scheduled to appear for a court hearing on 19 December over whether he will be extradited to New York on the charges, though Bragg suggested the suspects may not fight extradition. The extradition proceeding is scheduled for the same day as Mangione preliminary hearing on gun-related charges in Pennsylvania. Appearing at a press conference on Tuesday afternoon, both Bragg and New York Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisk lambasted the public for praising Mangione in the wake of the 4th December shooting. In addition to murder, the suspect also faces weapons and forgery charges if he is convicted on the most serious charges placed against him, first-degree murder and second-degree murder as an act of terrorism. Mangione could face life in prison without the possibility of parole. Asked about the specific terrorism charges, Bragg replied that in its most basic terms, this was a killing that was intended to evoke terror. Still on foreign news, Delhi pollution has once again soared to hazardous levels, with a top expert warning that India's toxic air will have a bigger impact on public health than the COVID-19 pandemic. On Wednesday, the air quality was 35 times over the safer limit set by the World Health Organization, leaving residents complaining of breathing problems as well as itching in their eyes and throat. Authorities have urged people, especially children and the elderly, to stay indoors as much as possible, while doctors recommend wearing a mask. But Frank Hammis, a global chief executive of air technology company, warns that this is just a short-term measure and much more needs to be done. Every winter, Delhi and nearby states face high pollution due to low wind speeds, vehicle emissions and the burning of crop remains and firewoods. According to IQ Air, a Swiss air quality index, pollution in part of Delhi surpassed the 550 mark on Wednesday morning, far exceeding even the hazardous level of 300. London, in comparison, had a level of 26 early on Wednesday. The air quality index measures the level of tiny particles in the air, also known as PM2.5, which Hammis explains is the most dangerous pollutant and the only determinant for calculating pollution levels. Rescuers in Vanuatu are racing to find survivors trapped in a building a day after a 7.3 magnitude earthquake struck the capital of Port Vila, killing 14 people. At least 200 people were injured in Tuesday's earthquake, with many of the casualties centered around a handful of buildings in the city center. One witness, who was in the tallest building in Vanuatu when the earthquake struck, told newsmen that he and his wife had sprinted outside, adding that if it had gone on another 10 seconds, he wouldn't be talking to them. A 7-day state of emergency has been declared to limit the public movement while rescue operations are underway, say police. Glenn Craig, chair of the Vanuatu Business Resilience Council, told newsmen that he had been in good spirit and enjoying the Christmas festivities with his wife on Tuesday when the earthquake struck, catching them completely off guard. At least 10 buildings in Port Vila sustained major structural damage, the Government Disaster Management Office said. Tremors from the earthquake also cut power and mobile services. Craig said one building that housed several embassies, including the U.S. Embassy and the British High Commission, was particularly affected. Finally, on foreign news, Keva Otavia Piana has been airlifted to the hospital after a painstaking rescue deep underground in the cave system in the Bergamo area of northern Italy. Piana, 32, had been exploring an uncharted area of the Abisso Bueno Fonteno cave on Saturday afternoon when a rock gave way beneath her feet and she fell 5 to 6 meters, sustaining injuries to her vertebrae, ribs, face and knee. More than 150 volunteers, led by Italy Alpine and Cave Rescue Corps, took part in the operation, and her stretcher was brought out at about 3:00 on Wednesday. Piana is an experienced speleologist, and this was the second time in 17 months that she was rescued from the cave system. Piana was taking part in a project to map a previously unknown area of the Abisso Bueno Fonteno cave system when she fell. The area between Lake Iseo and Lake Edin comprises a network of caves, tunnels and underground galleries, the majority of which have never been explored. Rescuers spoke of a race against time to get her out because of her injuries. Dozens of volunteers took turns to carry her stretcher and clear the many obstructions that got in their way. They had to navigate the narrow tunnels and at times use small explosive charges to get her out. And that's what we have on the foreign news.
Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News on Galaxy TV. My name is Gratitude Imokwede. Here are the rest of the stories for today.
Nollywood actress Nancy Isime has turned emotional as she hosts her colleagues and other important dignitaries for her 33rd birthday and housewarming Thanksgiving. Sharing a video to summarize the event on Instagram, the beautiful actress hosted the likes of Akan Nani, Pastor Jimmy Odukoya, Joke Silva, Shafi Bello, Funke Akindele, Iniedo, Kafi, Abike Dabiri, and Kate Esh as actors and directors. An emotional and joyful Nancy Isime stated she is starting a new chapter with Thanksgiving. She is proud to be surrounded by love from her colleagues. She promised to thank everyone present for her birthday and declared herself blessed to have incredible people in her corner. Funke Akindele has done it again with a new film, Everybody Loves Jennifer, a follow-up on her successful Jennifer franchise, which also produced a TV series. Everybody Loves Jennifer stars the usual characters such as Shege, Adako, and Toyosi, and is portrayed by Fowles, Omotunde Adebowale David, and Olayode Juliana respectively. Others in the star-studded movie include Omowumi Dada, Jackie Appiah, Nancy Isime, El Destiny Etiko, Chain Mwakama, PJ Zokwo, Lateef Adedimeji, Bisola Ayola, Chimeze Imo, Jide Kosoko, Ayola Akinola, Michael Ba, Toby Makinde, Hilda Basi, Wendy Obakama, Bashaline, Alex Dibanj, Lai Wasabi, and Cute Abiola, to mention a few. The film was directed by Funke Akindele and Tunde Olaoye, while the writing was done by Funke Akindele, Akinlabi Ishola, and Collins Oko. Everybody Loves Jennifer, which opened in cinemas on December 13th, as the biggest opening day for a Nollywood movie, ranking in 42.2 million naira. Nollywood actress Funke Akindele has rekindled her friendship with colleague Iniedo at the birthday party of their junior colleague Nancy Isime. Funke Akindele, who was present at the event, reunited with different celebrities. During a chit-chat, Funke Akindele and Iniedo embraced each other. In the video, Iniedo addressed the box office queen as a billionaire. Correcting the narrative, Funke Akindele opened up to how the former taught her how to save.
Have you seen this billionaire saying that to me? Let me tell you one thing, Iniedo taught me how to save. Oh, Jesus. Wow. Some people don't know, she taught me how to save money.
Most Nigerians are in shock of how the celebrity musical artist Burna Boy charges per show, as seen on a Twitter page. Odogo, as he is fondly called, has been in the musical industry for over 10 years. He has headlined prestigious shows and broken records, cementing his spot as a top contender. A recent update about the amount Burna Boy charges per show has created an online frenzy. According to the report, the Kilometer Corona charged a whopping $1 million per show. Nigerian socialite Pascal Okechukwu, aka Cubana Chief Priest, is trending online after a netizen lamented the prices of rooms in his Owerri hotel. The celebrity barman, who owns several businesses, also owns a hotel in the country, and the social media user shared his experience online. A photo of the prices of the different rooms in the hotel was posted, with the lowest one being 150,000 naira per night and the highest one being 300,000 per night. Not stopping there, the netizen complained about the price compared to what he got. According to him, it was too expensive for a small room without a jacuzzi.
Alright, that's all we have on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching and keep watching entertainment news on Galaxy TV. My name is Gratitude Imokwede. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.